Amen. Please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. Thank you to our own choir, Commission on Appointments Choir. Secretary, please call the roll.
The honorable members of the Commission on Appointments: Albano III, Almario, Aquino IV, Cayetano, Cortuna, Drilon, Ejercito, Floyrendo Jr., Gatchalian, Tonasan II, Lacson, Legarda, Loyola, Ocampo, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Recto, Salimbangon, Ramirez Sato, Soto III, Tolentino, Treñas, Zamora, Subiri. The chairman is present.
There are 20 members present, including the chair. So I hereby declare the presence of a quorum.
Mr. Senate President,
Majority Leader.
I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the February 1 plenary session and consider the same as approved.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal of the February 1, 2017 plenary session and to consider the same as approved. Any objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Senate President, may I ask that Secretary Villacorta be allowed to read the communication dated February 6 from Senate Secretary Edgardo Barbo on the election of Senator Joseph Victor G. Ejercito, Vice Senator Juan Edgardo M. Angara as member of the Commission on Appointments. I so move.
Any objection to the motion? There being none, Secretary Villacorta, please proceed.
6 February 2017. Honorable Aquilino Coco Pimentel III, Chairman, Commission on Appointments, Pasay City. Attention, Attorney Hector A. Villacorta, Secretary. Sir, I have the honor to inform you of the designation of Senator Joseph Victor Ejercito as member of the Commission on Appointments, Vice Senator Juan Edgardo M. Angara, on the Senate floor last February 1, 2017. Thank you. Very truly yours, signed Attorney Edgardo B. Barbo, Senate Secretary.
The election of Senator Joseph Victor G. Ejercito, Vice Senator Juan Edgardo M. Angara, as member of the Commission on Appointments is hereby noted. And I wish to inform you, all of you, that Senator Ejercito has taken his oath before me yesterday as member of the Commission. Majority Leader?
Yes, Mr. Senate President, I move that Senator J.V. Ejercito be elected to the following committee positions previously occupied by Senator Juan Edgardo M. Angara. For chairmanship, Committee on Interior and Local Government, Regional Consultative Commissions, and Regional Autonomous Governments. His membership, Agrarian Reform,
Budget and Management, Constitutional Commissions and Offices, Education, Culture and Sports, Energy, Environment and Natural Resources, Finance, Foreign Affairs, Government Corporations and Other Offices, Health, Justice and Judicial and Bar Council, Labor, Employment and Social Welfare, National Defense, Public Works and Highways, Rules and Resolutions, Science and Technology, Tourism and Economic Development, Trade and Industry, Transportation and Communications.
Is there any objection? There being none, Senator Ejercito is hereby elected to assume the aforementioned committee positions.
Mr. Senate President, may we now proceed to consider the recommendations of your Committee on Foreign Affairs for the consent to the appointments of 5 officials in the Department of Foreign Affairs. I so move.
Is there any objection? There being none, the consideration of the recommendations of the Committee on Foreign Affairs is in order.
Mr. Senate President, I move that your Chairman Senator Panfilo M. Lacson, your Committee Chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs, be recognized. I so move.
Senator Lacson is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This representation as Chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs presided a public hearing this morning to deliberate on the nominations of the 5 ambassadors, extraordinary and plenipotentiary of the Department of Foreign Affairs, 2 of whom are career diplomats, while the remaining 3 are political appointees. The committee thereafter ruled to recommend to the plenary their nominations for the consent of the body. It is therefore my privilege and honor to recommend that the Commission give its consent to the nomination of Mr. Evan Pomaren Garcia as permanent representative of the Republic of the Philippines to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. Mr. Garcia holds commendable credentials in the Philippine Foreign Service, having served in various key positions in the DFA, such as Undersecretary for Policy from 2013 to 2016. Immediately prior to his nomination, he was appointed as the Philippine representative to the Court of St. James in England. In 2010, he had also served the ambassadorial post to which he is presently nominated. It is in this regard that this representation recommends that the Commission give its consent to Mr. Evan Pomaren Garcia as permanent representative of the Republic of the Philippines to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion for the Commission to give its consent to the appointment of Evan Pomaren Garcia, Chief of Mission, Class 1, as permanent representative of the Republic of the Philippines to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. Is there any objection?
Senator Drilon wishes to second the
Okay, so
nomination.
before we process the motion, Senator Drilon is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very briefly, I just wish to spread into the record my honor to be able to second the motion of Senator Panfilo Lacson. We have known Ambassador Evans Garcia for quite a number of years. He's one of the most brilliant career ministers in the Department of Foreign Affairs. And he only concedes to one person to be more brilliant than him, and that is his wife. I hope, I know he will not dispute that. So it is with honor that we second the motion of Senator Lacson for the consent to the nomination of Ambassador Garcia. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Majority Leader, no other. Okay, so the Chair has already stated the pending motion. Is there any objection? There being none, the Commission hereby gives its consent to the appointment of Evan Pomaren Garcia, Chief of Mission Class 1, as permanent representative of the Republic of the Philippines to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland.
I also move that the Commission give its consent to the nomination of Ms. Celia Ana Malyari Peria, a career diplomat who has served the Department of Foreign Affairs for 27 years, as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Portuguese Republic, with concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Cabo Verde, the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, and the Republic of Angola. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Any seconding speech? Senator Subiri is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I've had the distinct opportunity and honor to witness Ambassador Feria at work when she was Consul General of Spain. She was very well loved by the community. She was a very hard worker, and she deserves the position that she's going to be appointed to today. I'm honored to second the nomination.
So there is a motion that the Commission give its consent to the appointment of Celia Ana Malyari Feria, Chief of Mission Class 2, as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Portuguese Republic, with the concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Cabo Verde, the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, and the Republic of Angola. Is there any objection? There being none, the Commission hereby gives its consent to the appointment of Celia Ana Malyari Feria, Chief of Mission Class 2, as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Portuguese Republic, with concurrent jurisdiction of the Republic of Cabo Verde, the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, and the Republic of Angola.
The next nominee, Mr. Chairman, shares a colorful past with my other Philippine Military Academy Mista, our very own, our distinguished colleague, Senator Gregorio Gringo Honasan. I fondly known retired Colonel Kapunan as Red, a revered cavalier and a classmate of mine. Decades may have passed, but I'm still glad to see that he remains in his prime with the same snappy cadence we had as cadets. For 24 years, Red served in the Philippine Air Force and retired with the rank of colonel. He also led as the group commander of the 1st Anti-Terrorist Force of the AFP and later as Assistant Chief of Staff for Operations of J3 and academic instructor in economics at the Philippine Military Academy. His military service best fits his foreign service career. Red's first stint in DFA as Director for Intelligence and Security Service, a special assistant post to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, has received accolades. Under such position, he spearheaded the overall security preparedness of the Home Office, consular offices nationwide, and the different foreign posts of the Department of Foreign Affairs. The nominee merits due credits for his wealth of knowledge and integrity that are contributory to the good of our foreign service and security. Mr. Chairman and distinguished colleagues, it is my distinct privilege and honor to recommend that this body give its consent to the nomination of retired Colonel Eduardo E. Kapunan Jr. as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Union of Myanmar. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Honasan is recognized.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, I would like to ask your permission to say a few words about Ambassador Kapunan. Distinguished members of the Commission Appointments, whenever our lives come full circle and we are confronted with our own mortality, we realize that we have more yesterdays than tomorrows. But it is and will always be an honor and a privilege to be allowed to say something publicly about those we hold dear, family, friends, and colleagues. Red Kapunan is all of the above and more because he is a brother in arms. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, 50 years, half a century, more than half of my life. Very long, too long. I do not know how this discomfort about our relationship will last. But we have to start in 1967 at the Philippine Military Academy. Cadet Lacson, Cadet Honasan, and Cadet Kapunan did not share common interests. While Red Kapunan was busy attending to his duties as God's gift to the female population of Baguio, Cadet Lacson and I were busy attending officially to the Cadet Corps because socially we were not in the same league as Red Kapunan, and socially we were also inadequate. We graduated in 1971. Red joined the Philippine Air Force, became a hotshot combat helicopter pilot. Ping made his mark in the Philippine Constabulary, and I did not want years of marches and bivouacs with the only vehicle as your combat boots to let it go to waste, so I joined the Army. We met each other in Isabela during food resupplies. We met each other again in Lebac, the first time I became a casualty. And of course, I had the embarrassing experience of Red having flight attendants in tow, laying my private parts to bear in the airport while I was being airlifted medically to show the stewardesses that I was more inadequate than he was. In Holo, we became the police force after the burning of Holo Town. We conducted raids on illegally smuggled liquor. Red saw to it that this supply always ran out. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, we joined each other again in the Department of National Defense, where I became head of security and he became head of intelligence. And it was during the early 80s when the reform, the armed forces movement came into being. We became part of the historic people power, and I would like to share with you some brief anecdotes about what we tried to do. Because whatever sides we were on in that historic people power revolution, I think we were more clear about what we were for than what we were against. In the 1987 and 89 uprisings, shortly after that, Red became consultant to the late chairperson Heidi Ora of the National Unification Commission, whose study for a peace process finds meaning and relevance again in the current situation. And then in 1995, he actively supported some candidates during the elections. I will not waste the time of the Commission, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Let me just say that Red Kapunan is a good man who constantly recalibrates his moral compass. I think he will not only do honor as a prosecutor of our foreign policy in his current posting, based on what constitutes our national interest, but I think as a matter of core values, he will always stand for God, country, and family. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
No other seconding speech? Okay. So there is a motion for the Commission to give its consent to the appointment of Eduardo Eco Kapunan Jr. as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, with the salary and emoluments of a Chief of Mission Class 1. Is there any objection? There being none, the Commission therefore gives its consent to the appointment of Eduardo Eco Kapunan Jr. as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, with the salary and emoluments of a Chief of Mission Class 1.
Mr. Chairman, I have known the next nominee way back in 2006 when he was still posted as Philippine Ambassador to New Zealand. We have remained as good friends from then on. Despite being offered other posts, he still chose to stay in Papua New Guinea, and for good reason. Mr. Tejano's ambassadorial role in the independent state of Papua New Guinea has spanned 2 non-consecutive terms, in 1998, which was also his first foreign posting, and in 2011, when he was reappointed. His foreign service has won him laurels, among them a gold medal, which was conferred upon him for the successful repatriation under his lead of numerous OFWs from the war-torn Solomon Islands in year 2000. Needless to say, his exemplary leadership and mediation skills were contributory to his meaningful diplomatic functions in Papua New Guinea, which I'm sure he will also put into good use when he returns to the same post. Thus, it is my honor and privilege to move that the Commission give its consent to the nomination of Bienvenido B. Tejano as the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the independent state of Papua New Guinea with concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Kiribati and the Solomon Islands. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Subiri is recognized.
Yes, with the permission of the body. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, Ambassador Tejano has dedicated 18 years of his career to the Foreign Service, having previously served as Ambassador to Papua New Guinea for 13 years and Ambassador to New Zealand for 5 years. Coming from a country whose economy is driven mainly by agriculture, Ambassador Tejano shared our country's best practices and introduced rice development technology to Papua New Guinea, as well as the use of Philippine indigenous equipment such as the kuliglig, hand tractor, portable rice mill, and even the Philippine jeepney as a mode of public transportation. I clearly recall his story that he brought a jeepney to Papua New Guinea and it was a big hit in that country. Not only did the ambassador promote our culture and our country's positive national image, but he also contributed in making Papua New Guinea a successful rice-producing country and introduced alternatives to the Papua New Guineans in the process. Aside from his effective approach in diplomacy, Ambassador Tejano is well known for his charitable and humanitarian efforts. He is noted for providing badly needed relief goods and medical assistance to the victims of Typhoon Yolanda in the different parts of Eastern Samar. And he also brings his charitable medical work to the Filipinos, where he serves as a member of the Foreign Service. Mr. Chairman, there are 30,000 Filipinos residing in Papua New Guinea, and Ambassador Tejano has been served them for 13 years. He's well loved, and I know many of them work in the fishing industry, and they have told me that he was a very responsible, very proactive governor. And I think this is a testament of the kind of service he brings to them. For this reason, Mr. Chairman, I have the honor to second the motion for the confirmation of the Commission on Plenary, the ad interim appointment of Ambassador Extraordinary Plenipotentiary to the independent state of Papua New Guinea, with the current jurisdiction over the Republic of Kiribati and Solomon Islands. And I hope that he invites us to Kiribati one day, because I would really be interested to see the islands of Kiribati, together with Congressman Albano. I so move, Mr. President.
Congressman Leola is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, it is this humble representation, privilege, and honor to second the motion of giving the Commission consent to the nomination of Mr. Bienvenido Tejano as the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the independent state of Papua New Guinea with concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Kiribati and the Solomon Islands. While I have heard of Mr. Tejano from his quite impressive foreign service record, it is through his missionary work that we have personally known each other. For some who has not yet known him, Mr. Tejano is one of the leaders of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. In fact, he served as the Secretary General of the World Adventist Public Official Association since July 2015. Interestingly, the biggest university of their sect, the Adventist University of the Philippines, is located at Silang, Cavite, a constituent municipality within this representation district. This initially served as our common agenda for correspondences, which later turned into a friendly get-together, and it's no surprise this charming man has character and perception that merit high regard. Indeed, Mr. Tejano knows his affairs backward and forward. He has displayed his competence to his profession in his stint as ambassador to Papua New Guinea. One of his milestone contributions to the foreign state is the rice development technology that promoted the viability of rice production among the people of Papua New Guinea. I took pride not only to his significant contribution to Papua New Guinea, but also to his ingenuity and patriotism. Many have particularly commended his effort to promote Philippine indigenous equipment such as the kuliglig, the hand tractor, the portable rice mill, and even the Philippine jeepney as a mode of public transportation in Papua New Guinea. These contributions are highly lauded by the state government for mobilizing their production. Having elaborated only but a few of his meritorious contributions to the Department of Foreign Affairs, it is with esteem that I will affirm Mr. Tejano's eligibility, and much more. To this end, I share the honor with my colleagues to second the motion that the Commission give its consent to the nomination of Mr. Bienvenido Tejano as the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the independent state of Papua New Guinea with concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Kiribati and the Solomons Islands. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Senator Subiri?
Yes. Yes, I'd just like to add to my statement earlier. I forgot to mention, Mr. President, that the good gentleman is a graduate of the beautiful Mountain View College at the foothills of Valencia, the foothills of Mount Kitanglat, Bukidnon. Okay. And the fresh air, fresh fruits and vegetables has made him what he is today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. No other seconding speech. So the pending motion before us is for the Commission to give its consent to the appointment of Bienvenido Villamor Tejano as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the independent state of Papua New Guinea with concurrent jurisdiction over the Republic of Kiribati and Solomon Islands with the salary and emoluments of a Chief of Mission Class 1. Any objection? There being none, the Commission hereby gives its consent to the appointment of Bienvenido Villamor Tejano as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the independent state of Papua New Guinea with concurrent jurisdiction of the Republic of Kiribati and Solomon Islands with the salary and emoluments of a Chief of Mission Class 1.
Finally, Mr. Chairman, it is my distinct privilege and honor to recommend that the plenary give its consent to the nomination of Abdul Maid Kiram Muin, a native of Zamboanga City, who also once served as a patrolman in the Davao City Police Department, a provincial election officer of the COMELEC, then known as provincial attorney, and an RTC judge, and now as the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion for the Commission to give its consent to the appointment of Abdul Maid Kiram Muin as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste with the salary and emoluments of a Chief of Mission Class 1. Is there any objection? There being none, the Commission hereby gives its consent to the appointment of Abdul Maid Kiram Muin as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste with salary and emoluments of a Chief of Mission Class 1.
Mr. Senate President, I move for a 5-minute suspension to congratulate
Session
our
is suspended.
duly appointed ambassador.
Session is suspended.
Mr. President, wait, ay, kasalita.
session is resumed.
Yes, Mr. Senate President, I move that we recognize the beautiful Senator Lauren Ligarda to make her manifestation.
Is there any objection? There being none, Senator Ligarda is recognized.
I simply wanted to associate myself earlier with Senator Panfilo Lacson, the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, in sponsoring the 5 newly confirmed ambassadors. That's all, Mr. President. I want both the political and the career ambassadors. I wanted to join those who sponsored to confirm them. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that manifestation. Majority Leader?
Mr. Senate President, may we now proceed to consider the recommendations of your Committee on National Defense for the Commission's confirmation of the interim appointments of 30 senior officers in the Armed Forces of the Philippines. I so move.
Is there any objection? There being none, we now proceed to consider the recommendations of the Committee on National Defense.
Mr. Senate President, I move that your Chairman, Representative Roy M. Loyola, the Chairman of the Committee on National Defense, be recognized.
The Chairman of the Committee on National Defense, Representative Loyola, is hereby recognized.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, it is this humble representation, distinct privilege and honor to recommend to this august body the confirmation of ad interim appointment of General Eduardo Manahan Año as the 48th Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Our country's gallant soldiers, Marines, and Airmen welcome the new leadership of General Año with high spirit. Not only is he known as well-revered cavalier, but also because among men of his rank, he has already proven to be truly outstanding leader, or as we say, a man in a class of his own. I share a special bond with General Año because, as everyone would notice, we have distinct similarities. For one, what we lack in height, we compensate with wits and appeal. In fact, no one in this hall would argue that General Año is a living testament that indeed great things come in small packages. For the information of everyone, General Eduardo Año is my cousin. Yeah. Kasintas ko po siya para sa kalaman ng lahat. General Año is a member of the Philippine Military Academy's class of 1983 with batchmate Matikas, which is synonymous to poise, refine, or debonair. He also graduated with distinction of cum laude. Between you and me, to be branded as Matikas and Matalino in PMA is no small feat. These are distinct qualities that afford one with leadership roles, which in his fortunate fate, the AFP's highest echelon of command. His meritorious record shows both wealth of knowledge and experience in combat, intelligence, and military operation. Not many know that in 1993, this gentleman rated 100% and became top of his class in the International Officer Intelligence course in Arizona, USA. He also took counterterrorism course in Israel. He rose through the ranks with performance record in the field of combat operation, initially serving as a platoon leader and eventually become the brigade commander of 201st Infantry Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division from 2010 to 2012. General Año also held the highest intelligence post in AFP as the Chief of the Intelligence Service from 2012 to 2014. His illustrious career is coupled with numerous awards and decorations, foremost among which are Philippine Legion of Honor, degree of officer, 5 Distinguished Service Stars, Gold Cross Medal for Gallantry in Combat, Silver Cross Medal, 24 Bronze Cross Medal for Intelligence Case Operation, 36 military merit medals, 3 of which are with spearhead device for accomplishment in combat action against armed enemies. And lastly, 10 awards and command plaques, including the most coveted Philippine Military Academy Cavalier Award as Outstanding PMA Alumnus in the Field of Army Operation in 1996. A perusal of his accomplishment would make anyone easily intimidated. Little do we know that beyond his honors, his personality brims with warmth and good sense of humor. He has an arsenal of witty jokes which could lighten up moods and liven up otherwise dull days. Yet again, it's not his jest that keep him on top of his game, but his sincere humility that resonates among superiors, colleagues, and subordinates. This man does not sit on his laurels nor lift his own chair. His sincerity begets respect and obedience befitting to a man of his stature. In brief, General Anyo's wealth of knowledge and experience will definitely make a significant mark in the AFP pursuit and success of its objectives. I will tell you, give this man a fair crack of the whip, and he will create a meaningful reform to improve excellence, confidence, and efficiency in the armed forces of the Philippines. Mr. Chairman, with the welfare of the Filipino people and safety and security of the country both from internal and external threat as his primordial concern, I have the honor to move for the confirmation of the Commission on Plenary the ad interim appointment of General Eduardo Manahan Anyo. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, to second the nomination, I'd like to... Yeah, Senator Ligarda. Senator Ligarda. Senator Ligarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Chair. I have the honor to co-sponsor the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of General Eduardo Manahan Anyo as the 48th Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Our appointee is a man of many firsts and a bemedaled military officer. He is a seasoned combat and intelligence officer who has gone through the ladder of military career advancement. He placed first when he finished both the Infantry Officer Basic Course and the Infantry Officer Advanced Course at the Combat Arms School Training Command of the Philippine Army in Fort Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija. He was also first place when he completed the Command and General Staff course at the Command and General Staff College in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Likewise, he placed first, earning a perfect rating of 100% when he took the International Officer Intelligence course at the U.S. Military Training School in Fort Huachuca, Arizona in 1993. Throughout his career, General Anyo has always been at the forefront of his duty. In the infantry, he was a battalion commander of the 76th Infantry Battalion, 2nd Infantry Division, Philippine Army in 2004, and earned his star in the battlefield as Brigadier or Brigade Commander of the 201st Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, Philippine Army from 2010 to 2012. He briefly served as the Assistant Deputy Chief of Staff for Intelligence in 2012, eventually took the helm of the highest intelligence post in the AFP as Chief of the Intelligence Service Armed Forces of the Philippines from 2012 to 2014, prior to his assumption as a commander of the 10th Infantry Division, Philippine Army 2014 to 2015. General Anyo is a recipient of prestigious recognitions, including numerous Gold Cross medals, 4 Distinguished Service Stars, the Philippine Legion of Honor, and the most coveted Philippine Military Academy Cavalier Award in recognition as outstanding PMA alumnus in the field of Army operations in 1996. But beyond these awards and meritorious achievements, Mr. President, the most important thing to look at is a general's character. He is known for his courage and great determination and is an inspiration to the uniformed community and his colleagues. General Anyo is a devout family man. He is a loving husband to Miss Jean Jocelyn Maria Dioso Anyo, who is here in the hall today, who hails from my hometown of Pandan, Antique, and who is my fellow Antiqueña, a kasimanwa, and my relative, and a caring father to their 4 children and 2 grandchildren. Finally, I salute the General for affirming his continued commitment as a servant of the people, dreaming of greater things for the military organization of which I am a part of, and for the nation, and for declaring that the AFP will uphold and respect the primacy of peace, but remain to be a lethal force fully capable of destroying any threat to the security of our nation. Mr. President, it is for these reasons that I move that the ad interim appointment of General Eduardo Manahan Anyo as the 48th Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines be confirmed. Thank you.
Next to be recognized, the second nomination is Congressman Mayo Almario, Mr. Senate President.
Representative Almario is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. To say that General Eduardo Manahan Anyo is a class of his own as a leader is an understatement. With him at the helm as the 48th AFP chief, great things are in store for our country's gallant soldiers, airmen, marines, and sailors. General Anyo has a great sense of focus. His credentials bespeak how devoted and committed he is to his work. He always works with passion, and he would always remind his subordinates to work as if it were your first day. He clearly lays down what he intends to accomplish. He is like an eagle that has keen eyes fixed on its target. He also has that special skill for spotting and developing the potentials of his men, putting them in the right places or positions to accomplish the mission, and at the same time allowing them to grow and mature personally and professionally. His command philosophy outrightly sets the high standards as he emphatically shares his vision with the people he leads and works with. Those who have served alongside him would tell you how professional and refined General Anyo is. He always makes sure to have that pleasant working environment in such a way that all the players in the team enjoy and love what they are doing. This must be the springboard of his craft in creating a winning team. As such, all the units he led prior to his designation as chief have all been achievers in various ways, battalion, brigade, and division alike. An icing to an already warm personality, General Anyo packs a good sense of humor. He can naturally deliver a joke in a manner that would really tickle your heart out. He has an arsenal of witty anecdotes and jokes that are laced with wisdom. He is known to flourish as a successful planner, thinker, operator, and decision maker, even under pressure. He doesn't force on issues and other things. He is seemingly not bothered by limitations, for his confidence emanates from his propensity to be always on top of every situation. His calmness is a manifestation that he is in full control, such that stumbling blocks become stepping stones and challenges turn into opportunities. Perhaps, Mr. Chairman, the standout quality that endears him so well with his superiors, colleagues, and subordinates would be his simplicity and humility. Despite his many achievements, majority of which are outstanding and unparalleled, he doesn't sit on his laurels nor lift his own chair. He remains a level-headed officer, always approachable, and has empathy for people regardless of their ranks or status. He commands respect and obedience, not through a thunderous voice, but through the sincerity of his actions. Suffice to say, Mr. Chairman, that his reputation precedes his name, in such a way that his name within the military organization immediately connotes excellence, competence, and efficiency. A silent performer all throughout his career with very loud marks of achievements and accomplishments along his trail. Such wonderful blend of intelligence, humility, and sense of humor allow him to easily connect and build rapport with the people around him, most especially to the different stakeholders. He is someone who listens intently, weighs his options carefully, and decides with his heart. This serves as a guide in all his dealings, reflective of the greater good and the welfare of the organization. General Anyo's managerial acumen transcends beyond career excellence. Despite his very hectic schedule, he is able to fulfill his part as a devout family man, a loving husband to Mrs. Jean Jocelyn Maria Joso Anyo, a doting father to their 4 children, and an affectionate grandfather to their 2 grandchildren. Family gatherings, outings, malling, attending to Sunday service, family dinners, and other quality family time, whenever possible, keep them a close-knit family. He is one of those